Hi again, welcome back to another video on creating a 2D tank battle game in Unity. You can find the link to part 1 in the description. In this video, we'll create an enemy spawner script and a game manager to keep track of the enemy count on screen, the player's lives and score. The game manager will also handle level wins and game over. Alright, let's get straight into it. Let's get started by saving the enemy game object as a prefab and deleting it from the hierarchy. Then, create an empty enemy spawner game object. We'll create an enemy spawner script and attach it to the game object. In the enemy spawner script, we use serialize field to expose the enemy prefab in the inspector. We'll also add set variables to calculate the random position where the enemy will spawn. Then, we spawn an enemy by simply instantiating it in the start function. Save the enemy spawner as a prefab and delete it from the hierarchy. For the next step, we'll create a game manager to manage things such as spawning enemies, keeping track of players' lives and score, and managing level completion and game over. We'll use a singleton class for the game manager. If you want to know more about singleton classes, I strongly advise you to look it up online. We'll declare a boolean is in game to check whether the game is active or not and initialize it to true. We'll add an enemy count integer and another boolean spawn timer finished. Create a count enemy method and call it in the update. Next, let's create a spawn enemy method. We'll check if the enemy count is less than 2 and the spawn timer finished is true. If both conditions are met, we immediately set spawn timer finished to false to prevent more enemies from spawning for a while. We'll use enumerator and coroutines to set a timer before setting spawn timer finished back to true. This way, the game will keep spawning a new enemy whenever the enemy count on the screen is less than 2. You can see the enemies behaving chaotically when they collide with each other. Let's fix this. Open the enemy prefab and freeze the set rotation under the rigid body 2D component. We'll also edit the enemy script so that an enemy changes direction when it collides with another enemy. We'll make the enemy spawner destroy itself to prevent overcrowding in the hierarchy. Alright, our game now looks more organized. Next, we'll add some UI elements to the game. Right-click in the hierarchy, go to UI and select Text Mesh Pro. Rename it to Player Lives and position it at the top left corner of the screen. We'll also add a player score text and place it at the top right corner. In the Game Manager script, add using TM Pro at the top since we'll be using Text Mesh Pro. Use serialize field to expose the player's life and score text in the inspector. We'll also add 2 integers for the player's lives and scores. Then, create methods to update the player's life and score text and call them from the update. We'll also create two public methods for updating the player's scores and lives. We'll call add player score from the player bullet script and deduct player lives from the enemy and enemy bullet scripts. When you hit play, you can see the player score increases when an enemy is destroyed and the player's lives decrease when they are hit. We'll also add some code to the game manager to respawn the player as long as the player's life is greater than 0. In this step, we'll set up the Game Over and Level Complete screens. Add a new UI panel and name it Game Over. Position it at the center of the screen and add a Text Mesh Pro to it. We'll duplicate and adjust it for the Level Complete screen. Then, set both panels to inactive. In the Game Manager, expose the Game Over and Level Complete panels in the Inspector. We'll make the Game Over panel a diff if the player is hit with no more lives and the Level Complete panel a diff when the player's score reaches 100 points. That's it for this video. At this point, you can make some adjustments and add new features to the prototype to make the game your own. Thank you for watching. If you want more videos on game development and pixel art, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you guys!